Are young Asian Americans having kids still, or are they kind of scared? Let's talk about it, everybody. I'm here with mother and comedian Kiki Yeung.
Hello.
All right, so basically, I've seen all these different Reddit posts about like, hey, anyone here planning to have their planning their lives around not having kids? These are all in the Asian subreddits, by the way. Asians in America need to have more children, or hey, I feel that Asian parenting has made being child-free more popular. Wow. So some people suspect that the reason why a lot of Asian Americans are not having children is because they remember what it's like for their Asian parents. So I'm not here to scare anybody from having a kid, because I think most people say they want kids, but whether or not they actually go through with it is a different story, right, Kiki? And you actually have a kid.
For sure, yeah. And I didn't want to have one till in my 30s.
Ah, so you're kind of a late bloomer mother.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Kiki, you're going to add your real life mother experience and your Asian background. You're from Hong Kong originally, grew up in the States. So here, we're going to get into this list, guys. Please hit that like button. Check out other episodes of the Hot Pot Boys. You know what? I'll just say it. I hope to have kids one day.
Good for you,
Or a
Andrew.
kid.
Yeah, I could think you'd make a great dad.
You think so?
Yeah.
I got that dad energy.
Just a little bit. Like you seem like you could play basketball with your kid, be a sneakerhead together. Like I think you guys would have fun. Eat a lot.
No, Kiki, I will be very strict.
Liar, he wouldn't. He's like one of those that will give me your hand with a ruler and you'll start laughing and not hit them.
Oh, heck no. Anyways, guys, let's get into the list. Reasons why a lot of Asian Americans are not having kids. Let's talk about it. Point number one that I found, and agree or disagree in the comments down below. Asian American children didn't really get to enjoy their childhood growing up. They were always pushed to study, so they don't really have a good perception of what a nice childhood is, or they don't want to repeat that for their kid.
I
Makes
agree.
sense.
I mean, my childhood was nice. We went to eat a lot, but also I was terrified of my mom. You know, in Hong Kong, you have to sign the exam papers to get approval. Anything below a B, I forged my mom's signature. That's how terrified of her I was. And I hid all those exam papers and I brought them to America. And I
Crazy. Would you say you enjoyed your childhood? Would you say, like, yes or no, did you enjoy your childhood?
in Hong Kong, yes. In America, no.
Okay. And when did you come to America?
12.
Okay. So from 12 on, did not enjoy your childhood. Point number 2, never feeling like you can meet your parents' expectations and maybe having fear that your parents will put those expectations on your kids, aka their grandchildren, right? So meaning like, let's say if you have very overbearing parents, might there be a fear that your parents are going to be hovering over you like, yeah, you have to raise your kid this way. Do this. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this for your child? Why don't you do this for your child?
I love your accent. Yes, my mom did that to me. I mean, my mom actually did that to my brothers. Just made them sit there and study, and they just yelling at them all the time. It's horrible.
Wait, to her grandkids?
No, to my brothers.
Oh.
Yeah, but my mom. But she never did it to me because I studied like a crazy person.
No, but how did she treat your kids?
She hasn't. Well, the last time she was very nice. She was very nice to him. But she said, you better discipline him now or else it'll be too late. You'll regret it. She kept saying, listen to me. It'll be too late.
What about your brothers? Do they have kids?
Yeah. My younger brother has 2.
How does she treat them?
She just kind of be like, they are always watching the iPad and like complaining about, they eat microwave food or, yeah. But she's busy. I haven't seen her physically for 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love
Kiki's
my
mom. I hope she's doing well. All right. So point number 3, they're afraid they'll become like their parents when they become parents. You know, just in general, like, because you might revert back to how you were raised and you're like, I don't want to be the same Asian parent to my kids. Right?
Yeah, totally. And I've read a lot of books, had some therapy, and I prayed a lot, and it helped release a lot of trauma. But there are moments when I know, like, I'm like my mom or my dad.
Like, you feel it coming out. You're like,
oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Totally like, you stupid, no bring back 黐冇腦.
Oh, that's so funny.
You know what that means?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Your parents are nice to you. They don't say things like that. They're like,你戇居啊，你冇腦啊，你好懶啊. They always say, you lazy, you no brain, you stupid.
Okay, my mom did say lazy, but no, she didn't call us stupid. She didn't call us
my
stupid.
mom would say,你瞓喺度係咪楊貴妃啊? Because I lay on the couch to relax. But when they get home, they're like, are you the Empress of China? Like, Empress Young?
Yeah.
Why are you laying around?
Why are you lounging around? Get your feet up. Anyways, point number 4. A lot of Asian Americans grew up in unideal towns where their parents still reside. So if they want that parental help that grandparent help while raising kids, they don't want to go back to that town. For example, I live in New York City. Obviously, a lot of transplants, a lot of people, this is their dream city to move to. It is an amazing city in many ways. But I know, like, for example, my friends from Ohio, if they start a family in New York, what, they're going to bring the family back to Ohio to raise their kids? No, they're not. Like, no offense to Ohio. They just didn't like their upbringing. So, of course, they're not going to bring them back to Cleveland, as an Asian American family just for that grandparent help. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe it's easier if your parents are all in, like, Irvine, California, or maybe, some nice little suburban
St. Gabriel. Monterey Park.
Powell Park, New Jersey, maybe, then you have plenty of help in that community. But anyways, point number 5, they, overall, a lot of Asian Americans just don't want to make the sacrifice that their parents went through, because I think we're all very aware of a lot of the stories and the sacrifice that parents went through. And it just, I guess if you look at it, it did sound unappealing and not very fun, right? Like, even if you're happy the way you're raised, even if you're happy about how you turned out, you still saw your parents and how much time they put in. And maybe it was because they were immigrants, though, so your life is a little bit different. But still, it just looks like so much, right?
Yeah, it's exhausting. Now that I'm a mom, I only have one child, and I'm just like, wow, I know why my mom was like this to me now.
But you still have time to go out and do comedy tours.
Yeah,
sometimes.
And I need to sleep. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to say about it. It's just the thought of it is exhausting.
Do you feel like you have a community around LA, your home, though, that you guys, like, a parents community with the kids? No?
I put my son in basketball, and that's about, like, you know.
But what about you got family, friends?
No, I don't have family.
You leave your kid with, like, you're
no,
like, hey.
I don't leave my kid with any. We go to the kids club, and we have to pay $13.50 an hour. And,
oh.
That's about it.
Right.
So it's like really hard to come by because my mom's too far to even help. So.
Oh, right.
Well, I do have family in San Diego, but not in Pasadena.
Right. A lot of Asians are accustomed to higher living standards because now a lot of Asians, they grew up and got good jobs. They make good money. They finally, in their 30s or late 20s, are getting into their social lives. They kind of like their community that they're at. They're having fun. They feel accepted in America. And they're like, dang, now I got to think about having a kid. And that's going to
ruin all the fun.
But if you have a good community, I think then everybody has kids. And then, like, your friends will have kids. And then they can grow up together to an extent. Right? There's some aspect of that.
Yeah, but the friends don't really want to watch your kid either, I feel
No,
like.
but I mean, if the friends have kids themselves, maybe they
then we can all hang out together.
Right.
But it's not like I get a break. Like, I have friends, but we all have to. So it's very noisy. But it's fun, but it's still exhausting.
Number 7. A lot of Asian Americans maybe don't know who their mate is going to be. Or they don't know if they should marry within their ethnic group to kind of further the culture. You know, Asian on Asian, Chinese on Chinese, Korean on Korean, Viet on Viet, or whatever, Filipino on Filipino. But, or do they find a mate outside of the race, and have mixed race babies, or maybe, namely, some Asian guys go overseas for marriage, possibly go back to Asia or whatever, So I think there's a lot of those options, especially when it comes to dating,
Yeah.
Well, you married another Cantonese man.
Yeah, now. But before I married a black guy.
Yeah.
Black man.
And did you think about having a family with him?
Yes.
And like how that was going to be very different than having it with another Cantonese guy.
Yeah. I won't be able to listen to Cantonese music with him and have him sing it back to me. And also the food, even though he liked Chinese food, he loved Bruce Lee, did Kung Fu together, it would still be different. But then I thought it would be a cool mix of culture. But But yeah, I didn't make ablation.
Yeah. So I
I have a purebred Chinese son.
whoa. So yeah, I mean, but like I said, that ends the list. But like I said, I think a lot of people say they want kids. They like the idea. But some people are very resigned to not having kids either. Let me just go through some comments. Somebody said, my mom told me I don't need to have a baby to be happy to put my career first. She defines the stereotype. I think this is a woman who's leaving this comment. I think it's because it was so hard for her to raise me without my dad around. She told me that she's glad I'm married and focusing on my career. Okay, so this mom's not pressuring her.
That's great.
Some guy called Asian F-boy on Reddit goes, as it is, there's already a hurdle in the dating market. Asians, especially Asian men, trying to match up with anyone. Then if you do match up, the relationship has to spark. So some won't make it after the spark, and some won't even make it to having kids. I mean, listen, some people make it to marriage and engagement and then divorce before even having kids, right? So, this person's just saying there's a struggle in the dating market. Obviously, that's going to determine whether people can have kids. So I guess really the issue of having kids is directly, obviously, related to the dating market.
Yeah.
If you cannot date, you will not have kids
No.
because generally you're dating to then at least have kids, if not get at least married. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, do you think it's still taboo in Asian culture to not have a baby before marriage? So it's like...
I think now, like, if you have a baby, like, pretty close to marriage, I think a lot of people are not that tradition. Like, they're fine with it, a lot of parents. Anyway, someone said, it's not like Asians in Asia are having children either. None of East Asia are hitting the replacement rate, with Korea even below being 1 birth rate per person per year or per couple. Wow. Yeah, and someone says, yeah, I mean, listen, like Singapore, Japan, China, Korea, all negative birth rates.
Oh, wow.
Korea
Everybody's
having
having fun, huh?
Yeah. Someone said, absolutely. I know I inherited my mom's temper, but throughout the years, I've been more conscious to be nothing like her because she just screams when she's angry and I leave the room. I don't want a child to ever experience this, so no kids for me. Wow.
Oh, ouch. That really, really hurt him.
And someone said, hey, the low Asian American birth rate is more due to maybe not the reasons that even I listed, but more due to just economic success, because educated and economically successful women don't want to be baby factories, essentially, which is true, because the more educated the woman is and the more career-minded she is, the less kids she's going to have, if any kids.
Yeah.
Like, if she's a career woman, she might have 1, 2, you're ambitious, you're still working, doing comedy, all this stuff. Would you have time, if you wanted to keep pursuing those things, would you have time for another kid? Maybe not, right?
Yeah, or even if I make time, would my body allow me, because I'm always traveling or working, the stress.
Right, you'd have to take such a break.
Yes, like mental, physical.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, it's true that if you look at the Asian American success rate, whether it's jobs or like our college education, if Asian women are also very educated, right, then yeah, they're just not going to have as many kids. No matter who they marry, even if they marry a white or black or Latino person, they're just not having a lot of kids.
Yeah, maybe not as fertile when you're like stressing out about like the deadlines, or not sleeping enough because you're working a lot.
You're saying when your cortisol is spiking from like your boss and then deadlines and you're like a project manager. Yeah. And I mean, shout out to my sister. She has 2 kids though. She has 2 boys. And she is, pretty high up at her job.
2 comparing to back then, like 3 to 5, 6 is still
right. Actually, somebody of my sister's likeness back then, maybe. Well, I think for how educated she is, she has 2 kids. That's a lot. But like, yeah, if you had like typically, traditionally, rich people or people who had money had more kids because they could afford it.
Kardashians, like how many they have now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot. I know.
Kiki, how come you don't have more kids like the Kardashian, huh?
Well, I'm working. Like I'm trying to take the herbs.
Yeah, why don't you be more like Kris Jenner, Kiki Jenner, huh? Have more kids.
Kiki Jenner, you sound so Kento right now.
Okay. But yeah, overall, in conclusion, I think like, would you agree that even though there's a lot of people scared to have kids right now because they're always like crunching the numbers and thinking on how much they're going to have to sacrifice, do you think that people can actually handle it a lot better than they think?
handle it a lot better.
Like, do you think they're actually a lot stronger than they think? Like,
Yes.
a lot of Asian Americans are like, I want to have a kid, but then like, what if my lifestyle's changing? I'm not gonna like it.
I think it's all in the head, because for a long time I was like, never, I don't want a kid. And then I was like mid-30s, and then I went to work in Hong Kong. I traveled by myself for the first time ever, and then I was suddenly, it's just that moment of like, oh, I think I can be a mom. I could take care of somebody, and then bam, I got pregnant. So I think once you're pregnant,
Wait, I think we missed something about you meeting the guy and dating him.
Yeah, but you know, that's another story. But I'm just saying, like, once you're pregnant and then you feel the life and you see it for the woman and then the guy, something just changed. It just, I feel like all my friends that were like no kids and then suddenly they're parents, they become very strict. I have a friend that times the going number 1, number 2, like it's like really like, wow, they're on the schedule, but they're like, you know, they go out to party and stuff. So people change, and I think we can't be too cerebral about it. Like, if your heart feel,
you just feel like sometimes it just needs to happen, and then people will figure it out.
And it's meant to be too, because sometimes you want kids too. You can't. I know a lot of women are freezing their eggs in their 30s, right?
Yeah.
And because they want it maybe in their 50s. I don't know when.
Yeah, right. When are you gonna use the eggs? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you, Kiki, for your input. You are a proud mother. Kiki is pro-child, at least pro-1 child.
Yeah, or 2.
But you have 1 child, so you have a 1-child policy.
No, I just.
Anyways, all right, everybody, check out Kiki's links down below. She's a comedian based out of LA. She does her own show. Super Hong Kong Cantonese lady right here.
Yeah,
number 1 Canto.
屌你老母 Don't 屌你老母 Be nice to your 老母
You're cursing on my channel.
Oh, sorry.
Even though it's in Cantonese, you're cursing. All right. Until next time, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We out. Peace.